Good afternoon. November the 15th, I believe, at 4:54 in the evening, early evening. A little bit of a wet day, as you can tell. Cold, 42 degrees. Hope everybody's been having a good existence. I just came out of an energy upgrade not too long ago. Maybe a couple days ago, I came out of it. Excuse me. Got really hot. Every time I go through one of those Kundalini risings, excuse me, it burns me up just like a light bulb. I always describe it as a light bulb. You screw the light bulb in, and you hit the switch, and at the base of it, it gets really hot, and then the energy rises, and as it rises, it heats the bulb up. And that's what happens to you if you're going through a Kundalini rising. It starts with your root, and the Kundalini circles around inside your bead of energy through your chakras, opening up each chakra as it's twisting through. And as it's doing that, it's increasing your energy. It's pushing you through your crown. As it's increasing your energy, you're heating up. That's one of the symptoms of Kundalini rising, is getting hot. And it's quite uncomfortable, especially if it's warm outside. It wasn't that warm when it happened. I don't know, 50s maybe, but it literally, and I like it hot. I'm the type of person to be wearing a jacket. Well, I don't wear jackets, but wear a hoodie at 80 degrees. I just like the heat. I wear layers of clothes. I hate thermals, but I'll wear sweatpants underneath my pants or pajama pants. I like it hot. I don't mind it being hot, but this is a different type of heat. This is from the inside. And I don't have a fever. I've checked myself before to make sure I'm not fevered, and I don't have a fever, but I feel like I'm about to burst into flames. And it's very uncomfortable, but I know what's going on. My energy is increasing, and it's making me more sensitive. The clarity is happening. It's like this window, seeing through this window. This is what it's like for me. It's not that clear when the windshield wipers are off. And then when I'm going through these energy upgrades, I turn the wiper blade on, and I can see a little bit more clearer. This is how it's like when I go through these energy upgrades. It's each time it clears the windshield even more to where I can see even more. Or the haze, like the window's fogged up and you turn the defroster on and it starts to clear up. This is what I'm doing. And each time I get more sensitive to energy. And it's quite the experience. I was at work today, and this happened right after the energy upgrade. I'm at work, clear-minded, free-minded, not in my mind whatsoever. And when you're free-minded, you're more likely to get a message from the upper realms, higher beings, God, I like to call it. And when you're free-minded, you're more likely to hear a message from God. He's more than likely you'll hear him talk. You'll hear him speak. So I'm at work, free-minded. The word transcend comes in. Not a word I've ever used. Many of these videos you've watched, you'll never hear me use the word transcend. I might use the word ascend or ascension, but I don't think I've ever used the word transcend. It's really strange, and I don't think I've watched anything recently that had the word transcend in it to where it would come up as an idea or a thought that would pop into my head. So I kind of looked it up, and I still, honestly, I'm still not 100% certain on what it means. But whoever's watching this, if you know, it's just kind of weird how it came in after I went through an energy upgrade, right at the end of it. And I had a really rough day today. I felt really rough. And usually when I come through energy upgrade, I have a rough day. The next day after that, I have a rough day. I feel really bad. I feel really sick. And today was one of those days. Right now, I can't even breathe out of my nose. That has nothing to do with the energy upgrade, but the weather, the change in the weather is what causes that. Not very comfortable at all, not being able to breathe through my nose. And I am not the type to take medicine. I hate taking medicines. I hate putting those chemicals in my body. Every once in a while I'll take some ibuprofen. I did take some today because I just did not feel good. But I had that come in. And I was meditating the other morning, and it seems like I level up all the time. I get these downloads. My mind goes somewhere, not in a bad place. I'm analyzing things, and I'm meditating. And when I meditate, as I'm connecting to my subconscious, it's dark, very dark when I meditate. I can't see my hand in front of my face, pitch black. And I can't see. My eyes are open though. I make sure that I meditate with my eyes open. I like to be able to see what I see. And it's not with my physical eyes that I'm seeing with, it's my spiritual eye. My third eye is what I see with. So it takes me a few minutes to clear my thoughts once I start. And this is something I do on the regular. Like right now. Of course I'm talking to you, but I'm using my brain. But regularly, I won't be in my mind much. And that's how come I'm able to get messages like I do. And I'm constantly aware of my thoughts that are entering in my mind. Constantly aware of every thought that enters there. And I stop it. I stop it all the time. I've been doing this so long now that I do it awake, while I'm awake. And I use the word awake loosely because I'm awake when I meditate, but it's a different kind of awake, if you know what I mean. So, as I meditate, and I've started to clear out the thoughts, as I'm connecting, I'm zooming in on my subconscious mind. I'm blocking out the conscious mind. I'm zooming in on the conscious, subconscious mind. I can see this happening. I'm sucked in. I'm starting to suck in. As I'm connecting to the subconscious, the third eye starts to open up, and I see this white cloud form in front of me. Inside of the white cloud, I get images that pop in. And you can see this car just pulled right out in front of me. And I see these images inside of the white cloud. All kinds of images, faces, animals. I can get dogs, I can get cats, I can get monkeys, rivers, ponds, lakes, forests, airplanes, roller coasters. These things come out of nowhere. They're not in my mind, so I'm not in my mind. These are coming into my subconscious mind. These are things that are existing. If I'm catching a roller coaster pop into my mind, maybe there's an incident with a roller coaster, a bad accident, a roller coaster accident. Or if I catch an airplane, it could be an airplane accident. There could have been an incident on an airplane, car accident. I've seen people unloading dishwashers or loading dishwashers. It's very weird. I'll catch people maybe next door to me in the house next door and seeing what they're doing. What somebody's doing across the country. I don't know what I'm seeing. I know what I'm seeing, but I don't know what it is, where it's coming from, who it is. It's not stuff that I'm making up in my mind. And it's easy to say, oh, it's just something that you're imagining. To be in your imagination, you have to be in your mind. I'm not in my mind. I'm clear-minded. That's the whole point of meditation, is to be clear-minded. I'm sorry, I'm sitting still right now. I've got a little bit of time before I see my son. So I'm relaxing a little bit, talking to you guys. So I'm not in my mind. If what I'm seeing is not in my mind, then it's real. What I'm seeing is really real. I'm connecting to everything. It reminds me of the movie, and I've made this comment before, and I'm not big into movies, but I'm familiar with the movie, and some of us are, of X-Men, and the character in there that puts on the helmet in that room, that closed-in room, not sure what it is. He puts on the helmet, he locates all the mutants in the world. And this is pretty much what I'm doing. I'm connecting to everything, becoming one with everything. And it's the strangest thing. But I'm no longer seeing with my physical eyes, my fleshly eyes. I'm starting to connect to the spirit and the spiritual eyes, if that makes sense. Clear my mind of all thoughts, entering into ultimate peace. That's the whole point of meditation. I've been thinking a lot about spiritual awakening, and I hear a lot of people go through these spiritual awakenings or meditation. Big thing with spiritual awakening, and what a spiritual awakening is awakening of your soul. It's born again of the spirit. Jesus mentioned in the Bible, I think he was speaking to Nicodemus, I think that's what his name was, and how he said that, how can you be born again? How can you enter into your parents' womb or your mother's womb again and be born again? But that's born again of the flesh. I'm speaking born again of the spirit. You bury your flesh and you awaken your soul. You get rid of the pains and sorrows that you've been sitting on in your life. And this is something that's came to me today. But a spiritual awakening is awakening of the soul, a baptism of the soul, cleansing your soul, waking it up and burying the flesh. You're turning yourself inside out. Yes, you're flesh. You see flesh. But you're turning yourself inside out. You're becoming spirit, soul. That's what you're becoming as you're burying your flesh. As you get rid of your pains and sorrows, you're opening up your spirit and your soul. Jesus said, and I know there's a lot of people that hear the word Jesus, name Jesus, and oh, don't say that word, it's such a taboo. I don't necessarily care. I've read the Bible. I know it's old. I know it's written in English. It's written by man. It's a great tool for you to listen to God, but I read his words. I love the man Jesus. I'm fascinated by the man Jesus. I am not religious whatsoever. I do not believe in religion. But the Bible is a great tool for love and peace. Jesus, the man, was a very loving being. He was an empath. He was one of the most powerfulest of empaths that ever walked the face of the earth. And he was love and he was light. And that's all he was. And he mentioned in the Bible that they asked him, how can you enter into the kingdom of God? He said, you cannot enter into it unless you enter into it as a child. And a child is stress-free, worry-free, carefree. That's the child mentality. You cannot enter into the next world with pains and sorrows on your soul. It's impossible. You have to get rid of it. Not saying that you're going to go to hell, because honestly, I think this world is hell. I think that we're living in hell. And because life is tough, life is hard. If you die carrying on the pains and sorrows of the life that you've lived, you are going to be reborn. You're going to reincarnate back into another being. You're going to get another chance of life and be able to clear out your soul of all the pains and miseries. We are created in God's image. If you can manage to do this, it's pretty much living in the moment. This is something that I've accomplished in my life. I live in the moment. I have no worries. I have no stress. I allow God to take it, and whatever happens, happens. And I accept it without any worries or any stress. I'm not worried about a bill. I'm not worried about losing electricity or running out of gas. Things always seem to work out. Everything seems to work out. God's got everything under control. This is my last run. When I die, I'm entering into the next world because I'm not hanging on to any more pains and sorrows. It's done. My life on this earth plane is over. No more reincarnations for me. I'm not gonna, unless I choose to. This is the thing about it. Now that I am worry-free and stress-free, and I can enter into the next being or the next world, then I have that choice to be able to reincarnate again if I want to and live life again. But I don't think that I'm going to. I think that this time, my time on earth is over, and it's going to be done. Life is tough. And there's a lot of things in the Bible where it talks about how hell is going to be. I'm mentioning this word again, I'm sorry. And everything can be, figuratively speaking, if I said that right, in the Bible. It's a lot of the things that are mentioned in there are near impossible. Nothing's impossible with God. But you hear some strange things, especially when you're reading Revelations. It's very hard to keep up with, which I'm reading now. But life is hard. Life is hard. I am seeing things constantly now, regularly, that are not of this world, of the next world. I think that is me transcending. There's that word, transcending. Wow. It's me transcending into the next world. I could see it coming. It's like the light speed. When you hit light speed and you see the things coming at you, the meteors, the planets, and all this, zooming in. This is what I'm doing. This is what I'm seeing. I'm zooming in into the next world. I'm removing the veil from this world into the next world. I'm splitting it in two and seeing what's on the other side on a regular basis. And it's come with some gifts. Spiritual awakening is awakening of the soul. And if you're going through that and you're meditating, you have to clear your thoughts. A lot of people, when they start seeing through their third eye, it freaks them out when they start seeing images that are there in front of them that are not supposed to be there. Or are they? But it's freaking people out, and they stop. A lot of people stop the process because it scares them when they see faces and colors and images. They think they're dying, maybe. What am I doing? And this is me. I see these things completely sober. A lot of people will do drugs, psychedelics, I guess, acid, shrooms, DMT, whatever other psychedelic drugs there are out there. But people will do this and experience this stuff. But I'm completely sober when I experience these things. I love you guys. I hope I made some sense. Just me talking. But love you guys. And if you're going through a spiritual journey, if you're thinking about entering into a spiritual awakening, ignore what man says, ignore what a religious or a pastor would say of a church or what it, because they don't want you in that state, your most purest state. They want you to be controlled and on a leash, short-minded, a short leash on your mind. Do not be frightened. Do not be scared. I have been seeing things since I was a child, and I think that's what allowed me to be able to go through my awakening and see the things that I saw, because I've been seeing crazy things since I was a kid. Some of the wildest things. Sorry for the snorting and talking through my mouth, unable to breathe through my nose. I apologize for that. And I hope everybody has a good life and continue your spiritual journey. If you have any questions about an awakening or what you're seeing, or if you are experiencing these things, feel free to comment. And Godspeed.